Hey guys, hopefully you're having a lovely day. Just want to make a quick video with you today, just talking about our mobility challenge that we're going to be doing with you over the next couple of weeks. So first of all, I want to talk to you a little bit about what mobility is and what we're going to be doing and how it's going to benefit you not only for exercise and training, but for the rest of your life. Really going to help improve all aspects of your daily life and especially should help your recovery post-exercise. It will also help us massively when we're doing a lot of movements. It will make movements feel easier when you have better mobility. Poor mobility usually leads to higher risk of injury and usually more likelihood that you're going to injure yourself through training, but also your recovery is going to be a little bit more painful as well. So you're going to have more soreness and more pain because of that shorter range of movement. So first of all, guys, flexibility is all about lengthening muscles. Flexibility when we do stretching at the end of a session is all about lengthening muscles, helping them recover, stretching them out so they're not tight. Tight muscles can be really beneficial for us when we do exercise because obviously tight muscles can help us contract and use that muscle to move something heavy. But lengthening a muscle is going to be very beneficial for us as well because when our muscles are lengthened, we have greater range of mobility. Mobility is being able to move the body in a specific way in a range of movement. That could be weight, that could just be moving my arms for instance, from there to there. How far can you go from here before you start to bend your arms? Where does the restriction or the tightness come into the body? And this comes into play when we start to do some of our next things that we're going to start in April, when we start working on a few extra things in the gym. But mobility will come massively into that. So improving your mobility over the next few weeks is going to be hugely beneficial, not only to this, but it will be beneficial to calisthenics, strength, cardiovascular elements. So all of these things are going to be really, really beneficial and hopefully just improve just the general running of the body. Okay. So what I want to talk to you about today, guys, was a few different movements that you could do at home already, and especially even this week, that you can start to improve your mobility, and hopefully we should start seeing some improvements in results, okay? The first thing I wanted to do was talk about mobility isn't always just about stretching. So, for instance, mobility can be doing something above your head. Imagine I've got a big old dumbbell and I'm putting that above my head. When I put it here, being able to hold it, having that shoulder mobility is all part of stability, flexibility, and strength. The mobility is predominantly my ability to go back here and then hold it. If I can come back here and I can't hold it, that's a problem with my mobility, my flexibility, and my strength. So they're all combined. If I can bring that dumbbell back and keep that body forward but under control, that's great, I've got good mobility. So these are, for instance, upper body mobility movements. So we're going to do a couple upper body and lower body mobility movements, okay? And a lot of these should help people that are struggling with their lower backs, are struggling with doing things like triceps, getting range on their squat and getting the depth on their squat. So the first one we're going to do, guys, is if you've got a band at home, if you've got a big one or a thin one, you're going to get a band like this. You can do it sitting on the floor. Great time to do it is at night. You're going to make one small little twist. Might do this when I'm just chilling out in the evening. And I'm going to go above my head. And I'm going to go above my head and then back. And I'm squeezing that band. I'm just pushing away. I'm coming back over my body. And you're going to see I'm not bending my arms. I'm not trying to bend my arms. If you do have to bend your arms, totally up to you. The whole idea is trying to keep your body as straight as possible, or seeing how far you can get before you have to bend your arms, then bend your arms, then go back. Doing the movement, when we strengthen and lengthen, we're usually holding an isometric stretch. This is a bit more dynamic, so it's a mobility exercise, improving the dynamic flexibility. So we're going over and back. This is a great one for shoulders, chest. Again, for those of you that are tight in the shoulders and upper back, for a lot of us, we do sit with our posture, our shoulders further forward. So a lot of us need to retract our back, bring that back and scapula back, tighten that up. And one of the best things we can do is open up that chest. This is a great one. You see us do a lot of time this stretch, a static stretch. This one is going to be great, helping your overall mobility, moving through that motion, not just holding a stretch at the top end of that motion. Okay, so that's a great one that you can do. There's another one that you can do where you stick your legs in the band and you can go over your body. And this one is a good one that you're going to go above your head. You can sit down if you want to. You're going to go above your head and stretch and then pull it back. So you're going to hold that position, a little bit of tightness in there, and I'm going to pull back as far as I can. This position here, I'm allowing my body to just relax, keeping the arms straight, and I'm getting an awesome upper body shoulder stretch. And this is going to help me. Again, this can be dynamic, so I can move forward and then back, hold it there, squeeze out, try and get 5-6 seconds, and then slowly back. If your band is too tight for this one, try and get a slightly lighter band, or again, you can use even a rope, piece of rope, just moving that position. You can also do this in the doorway that I'm just going to show you in a second. Alright guys, so this movement in the doorway is just as beneficial, and there's a couple other ones that we can do as well. So you can stick your arms just in the doorway like this, and you can lean forward and straighten them out. So you're going to put all your pressure going forward, lock out the arms, and then you're going to try and push against the doorway, lean forward, and then get a nice stretch. You should feel those hips come forward underneath you. When you do that, I'm going to start to stretch my biceps, my shoulders, and the longer I can stay in this one, the better. Like we always talk about, a lot of these stretches can be really beneficial in that 30+ range. A lot of time I will try and hold a movement or come away and back into it for at least 30 seconds, but trying to aim for about 1 minute 30, 1 minute 40 overall. Sometimes I might even do a 3-minute stretch depending how tight that area is. If you do have a tight area, think about, are you stretching it often? If not, try and add it into your routine, and then you should hopefully not get that tightness so much. It happens a lot, people with tight lower backs, tight shoulders. Once you do a little bit of mobilization, a little bit of manipulation, it can usually help it and improve the mobility, and then you won't have any issues with the tightness. So once you've done that for a couple of times, you can then get 1 or 2 others where you're going to put one arm forward, just arm forward here, one arm behind the door frame, and then you're going to push forward. So my whole body coming forward. You can see I'm driving that weight forward. I've got another, again, shoulder stretch here. If you haven't got a band, this is a great one. So holding that shoulder stretch here, I'm going to feel it all down my lat. So if anyone's feeling tight from pull-ups, this is a great one. And again, if you're doing shoulder presses, again, this is another great one. So holding that position there, 30 seconds or so, switching side, getting that movement. Now we've got another one, guys, where we're going to use the door as a bit of a help. So this one is going to improve our squat. So for those of you that struggle with the movements like the squat, I'm just going to show you this one. All right, guys, so I know we always talk about getting better depth in your squat. One of the main problems with that is that if you imagine a tightness, this band is muscles in the back of my body. They're all interconnected. So we have muscles all the way up into the neck. And sometimes even if you have a tight neck, it can mean that you have tight lower back muscles, lat muscles, going down to the glutes, hamstrings, calves, and then into the Achilles. So one thing that you can do is you want to loosen this band. Imagine if this band is super tight and I do this, I'm going to feel it right in that lower back. As soon as the band gets tighter, I'm going to feel it in that lower back. One thing we want to try and do is make sure that that band is super stretchy. So the more stretching we do and mobility exercises we can do, the greater flexibility we can have without pain. Also means our recovery is going to be a lot better because those tight muscles won't be super, super tight. We'll be able to perform and move as long as we're keeping up that mobility and flexibility training. So one thing that you can do to loosen up some of these tighter muscles is to sit in one of the best positions that you can do, especially for a squat. Use the door if you need that extra help. Start off standing high, and then you're just going to sink low, trying to get your bum as low as possible in line with your ankles. I'm holding onto that door just for a little extra support, and I'm just holding there. Now again, for some of you this may be super uncomfortable. You may have to be here. If that's fine, you want to just try and lower that and just keep your back straight. Ideally, what we don't want is this. We don't want the hips up and the back bent. Back nice and straight, all the body parts nice and straight, nice straight back, straight legs here, straight leg down, okay? I'm holding this position. Try and keep your heels down with this one. If you're on the toes, then all you're doing is transferring all that weight into the ankle and the joints here. So the joints are going to take more of the load. What we want to do is keep the weight on the muscle when we're stretching out those muscles here. Inner groin, glutes, hips as well. Holding that position. If you feel comfortable with it, use a band and just have the band there just to assist you. So just holding onto that band, just going nice and deep. If you don't need the band, in this position, you're holding that there and you're just pushing those knees a little bit wider. Holding that position, you can widen the legs, point the toes out, and then you can push even more. Try and get your arms as straight as possible. This is a nice stretch. I'm starting to feel this one already. If you can hold in this position 50 to 1 minute 30, you're going to have really good mobility. If you struggle to get in this one to begin with, take your time, use the door, work on it. The more you do it, it's not going to happen in a week. It takes time. The more you do it, the better mobility you have and flexibility you have. So give it a couple of weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, you should start seeing some good improvement if you're doing those stretches, in particularly 4 to 3 times a week. Okay, so it only takes 3 or 4 times a week to really make a big difference. And again, if you're just working on this one's going to help your squatting, the depth in your squat, the flexibility in your lower back. Should stop a lot of lower back pain when you do exercises that are using the lower back. Okay, so guys, this is a great one to improve the squat. All right, guys, so this is one of the best stretches that you can do in the world. It's also known as that one of the best stretches you can do in the world because it's so beneficial for multiple body parts. Okay, we've sometimes done it in our Lean 60 sessions, but give this one a go. We're going to step forward initially, so this is a great one just to do in the evening. Finish up before you go to bed, usually the tight hip flexors throughout the day, just to loosen them off. Doing this just before you go to bed is going to be hugely beneficial. Give that body a little bit of the release that it needs, stretch it out, you're going to sleep a whole lot better. So you're going to hold this one, and then I'm going to put one arm, in particular the arm where that's opposite to my foot. I'm going to stick that down, and then I'm going to bring my opposite hand up, and I'm going to twist that body. So I'm going to open up my body. I should start to feel it on my upper body, shoulders. I've got my hips and glutes working, trying to stabilize me. And this is mobility in action. I'm stretching through my body. I'm stretching out at the very peak. And now my body's having to stabilize. So that's the stability element. Holding my body position in one movement, in one plane of movement. And then I can move it down and then up. And then also back further, holding this position. I'm strengthening my shoulders, but I'm also stretching out my glutes, hamstrings. I'm stretching out my upper body, my shoulders, my bicep as well. And then once you finish this one, come back. You can come through and then back down a couple times if you want to move through it, or just switch sides, change that position. Again, hand there, and you're just kind of come through, open up that body, twisting through, okay? In a couple of movements, and the whole idea of this is to bring that shoulder as far back as possible. So hand there, foot there, I'm bringing my hand there, I'm opening up that body as far back as I can. I'm trying to get it vertical. If you can get to there, that's fine. That just shows us that we've got a little bit of tightness in the lower back, tightness in the shoulder. So just holding in that position, it's going to improve your mobility over time. You should start to see increases over the weeks where you can get to here. And again, some of you may have tighter muscles than others. So the more we can do this, the better improved movement that you have. So bringing that body back, really find that stretch and try and hold it there for 30 seconds. Come back and then back to it. The more times you do that, guys, the better it's going to be. The last one that you can do, guys, is if you've got a weight. We do it quite often. I like to do it very often. This is a nice, easy one, is you can do a hamstring stretch using a weight, and you can use a weight to pull you down. Now, again, if you already touch the floor, you can do it elevated, so I can be on a chair or something like that. That weight can assist me pulling you down. If not, just go for a stretch and go for your toes, but the weight will allow me to get that extra 1 or 2 inches that I can't push. The weight is going to assist me to an area beyond where I would say comfortable. You don't necessarily want to be comfortable, but you don't want to be in super high amounts of pain. So somewhere between 6 and 8 on the pain threshold. You don't want to be really pushing it. If you are, just take a few seconds up, come back, take it easy and lower your body, and then hold somewhere where you can feel that stretch, and then over time you'll feel it relax and you should deepen into that stretch, okay? The other one that you can do instead of that one, if you don't want to do that, is that you can hold your body in this position, and we can take one leg up, and now all the weight is going through my rear chain, stretching out the calves. It's a great one. Again, if you're doing a lot of running, if you're doing a lot of exercise, generally, this is quite a nice one to do. And you can switch, and you can keep your feet on the floor, you can put more pressure on one side, just switching side to side. And then if you want to, guys, if you do struggle with that one, you can't keep your weight on your upper body, go onto the wall and just do the exact same thing. So you're on the wall, get a runner stretch, so you're putting all your weight through the calf, and then you're going to improve and switch. So you're just going to put all that pressure going through the calf. And again, all of these hold for 30 seconds plus. Okay, guys, a little introduction to mobility and again, what it entails. We're going to be doing this with you guys because when we go back to the gym, there's a whole load of fun things that we're going to be doing. And the greater range of mobility you have, we're going to make some serious athletes out of you guys. So focus on the mobility, guys, over the next few weeks. Use this opportunity as a way to really get those niggles, because when we go back to the gym, it's full blast. We're going to go back to lifting heavy, high resistance, getting you guys fit, building up that heart strength, building back up the lungs. And the more mobility we can do now, the better you're going to be when you go back to the gym. Okay, guys? Hopefully that helps, and I will see you all very soon.